Okay, I think this is better. Welcome, guys. Please, I'm sorry I had to end the live to restart it because people were commenting on the comment section and I couldn't see it. So it wasn't helping me in any way. So you guys should just try to connect. And while you're trying to connect, let me just play a song and I wait for you people to connect. Let me just play the song that was playing before. What's happening? Hello, please, as you're joining. Okay, Lucy, thank you. Thank you. Hello, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, my dear. At least now I can see. Yes, I can see the comments now. I can see it now. It's good now. It's good now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, as you're joining the live, to try to like the video, please. Try to like the video. Do I play a song and wait for a few more persons to join us live? Or should I just continue? How is your Sunday going, Lucy? Oh, fine. My internet is trying to mess me up. This one is the devil's workshop. The devil is trying to mess me up. But that devil is a liar. Okay, Bashampi, thank you. Okay, then I will just move on with my life. Others, if you join me. So I will try to say what topic for today now, as we don't see for our poster now about domestic violence. So I will say what approach for today would be kind of different because I just want that as you're joining live, please try to like the video, then comment to let me know who is on live, please. So our topic for today is about domestic violence. I wanted that before we get into domestic violence, let's first of all try to know what violence is all about. Then we narrow it to domestic violence. Then we try to look at the causes of this domestic violence. Equally, we'll look why people endure domestic violence. Lydia, welcome. Lydia Healthy Tips is online. I say welcome to you, Lydia. She's also a Cameroonian YouTuber and she does a lot of videos on healthy food choices. So I'll advise you people and encourage you people to also go to her YouTube channel and subscribe. So let's dive into our topic for today. We know during this lockdown, a lot of things have really changed. A lot of things have been on the rise, domestic violence being one of them. You have domestic violence, you have depression, you have mental illness, you have suicide. A lot is going on during lockdown. Let's now look at what domestic violence is, what violence is. And I would like to go by definition for for Cambridge Dictionary, which defines violence as words or actions intended to hurt people or cause damage. So these are words or actions from another person that the intent is to cause damage or inflict hurt or pain on the other person. Narrowing it now to domestic violence. What is domestic violence? By definition, we see that domestic violence, it is a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power over an intimate partner. So there is dominance, there is superiority, there is power used by one partner over the other person. And domestic violence is not all about physical. We know we talk about physical domestic violence a whole lot, but it goes beyond that. Domestic violence, you have Mr. Smith, you're welcome. When we talk about domestic violence, it could be psychological, it could be mental, it could be physical, it could be verbal, it could be economic, it could be sexual, it comes in different forms. And this includes behaviors that tend to frighten, to intimidate, to terrorize, to manipulate, to hurt, to humiliate, or injure your partner. And going a step further, make we look at the definition where National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, they give about violence, domestic violence. They say it is a willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, or other abusive behavior as a systematic pattern of power and control. So any definition where you look at, you will see there is the word power and there is the word control in the definition of it. So domestic violence is a global phenomenon which results to more than 1.6 million deaths a year, making it one of the leading causes of death worldwide. So you can imagine more than 1.6 people dying a year as a result of domestic violence. And this is a concern not only in Africa, not only in Europe, but worldwide. Please, if you're online, I plead on you to like the video. Now, developed countries like the US, Europe, countries that they have law, you have the police, you have social services, you have institutions that fight to protect victims of violence. Now, why that for countries then like US, when you see, they have courts that look into cases like this. When you have proof, you can carry your spouse or your partner to report the person on counts of domestic violence. That's why in the US, you see it is very common. Amuta, welcome. You're welcome on live. Please, as you join, like the video, and if you've not yet subscribed, please try to subscribe onto the channel. So that's why in countries like US, in Europe, you would see most people would take such cases to court. And once you have violence, you have evidence that your partner is violent, there are measures they would take. If the violence is to an extent, wait where they try for doing say they can kick that person out of the house, and they will still give that person like an ultimatum that do not come 5 kilometers to this person. Anywhere you see your court doing that, you'll be jailed. So countries like that, they have laws that they fight to protect domestic violence. But in Africa, yes, there could be institutions, there could be laws, but how effective are they? If you know places in Africa that they are really very effective, that people can. Jovita, welcome. Joyce is on. It was not on before. Oh my God. There are people following the old this thing. Hello. Yes, I see Benji on live setting. You're on live. You sure say you don't surely join another one where if you get problem, then I get to end the live. Check the recent one where they live with now. You join her. Yes. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Jovita. So, well, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in other African countries, it's possible that there are institutions that they are very effective that fight this that fight domestic violence, that protect the victims. I don't know if you people know of those institutions. You can, when the lines are open, you can call and give your contributions, or you can drop it in the comment section. Any comments in the comment section that I see that is helpful, I will try to pin it so that when comments are going up, that one will stay on the chat line. So let's now proceed to causes of domestic violence. What are those things that they cause domestic violence? And you discover that a lot of things you have environmental and you have individual factors that contribute to domestic violence. So some of these causes, there could be family members. That is to say, you're growing up in a house where your parents are always fighting. For example, your dad believes that the only way to correct your mom is by spanking her if she does something wrong. Kids that grow in such environments, they tend to pick those characteristics and they grow up with. To them, they don't even know it is wrong. Yeah, Joyce, welcome. Yeah, you're online. I can see you now. You've joined the right link. Welcome. So to those kids, seeing their parents fight all the time, they think that it's but a norm. It's but the rightful way you can correct someone if someone does something that is not proper. To some people, it is friends. They could have good home training at home, but if they are in the midst of friends, that the friends are always fighting, anything the fight, anything that, peer pressure, when kids are growing up, they begin to copy those characteristics and they think like, if you do not fight, you are a man. Especially if someone hurts those kids and they don't want to fight back, they will start calling him like, you're a weakling, you cannot do anything. They begin to fight and they pick up those characteristics and they grow with it. Another is bullying in school. There are some kids that when they are in school, they go through bully a lot. And the only way they can fight to like gain their self-esteem back, it's by fighting their classmates that bully them. They tend to grow up with such tendencies. Then you have equally cultural traditions. There are some tribes that they will tell the spouses that, how can your wife be talking to you like that and you're just looking at her, that you spank her, that beating your wife is a way of correcting her. And our African people, they believe so much in traditions. If tradition has said it, you cannot tell them otherwise, especially the ones that they are not very educated. Those that they go to school will begin to tell them otherwise, that no, beating your spouse or your intimate partner, it's abusive. You don't do that. They will learn. But someone that is not educated, they believe so much in tradition, and anything that culture tells them, they tend to practice it, they believe it, and they pass it on to their children. Then there's one other factor that I wanted to say that is escaping my mind. That I wanted to, okay, that's by the way. Let's proceed now to check the causes of domestic violence that make it to become a norm. Because domestic violence, now one thing for person for be abusive, and now one thing for that person for make it a norm, that it becomes, okay, yeah, you said it, my dear. Also shouting in front of the kids. When you shout in front of your kids, all these things, kids, they pick up their characteristics that they just pick up when they are growing up, and to them, they don't know those things is wrong. They don't know those things is wrong. If you're always shouting at your kids, they will grow up. And for instance, now, a spouse that is married, you see all those wives that they start shouting at their husbands, are you this useless man? I don't even know why I got married to you. You are this, you are that. You are a very useless. They even go to the extent they'll insult their husbands in front of their children, in front of their friends, in front of their family. So you ridicule your husband to an extent where he doesn't even have respect to in front of anybody. And you even see kids, they will start using those words. I don't mind my daddy. My daddy is a very useless man. Something that my mom is always saying is, they pick those things, they grow up with it. So even that woman who is always insulting that man, that you are a useless man, you are this, you are that, there is a possibility that growing up, that's the kind of environment where she grew up. So to her, Chiamaka, Amaka, welcome. You're welcome. So that's an environment where she grew up. Probably she grew up in an environment where her mom used to also insult the dad like that. So to her, it's normal. That's the only way she feels like she gains herself or her pride when she talks to the husband anyhow. Same like when you see those husbands, when the wife starts shouting like, see this useless man, see this one, and he gives the wife, piang, who are you talking to like that? He responds with a slap. Also know that kind of a man is a man that grew up in a violent environment. Just imagine two violent parents. The mother is violent. The father is violent. For the child to be in that kind of environment, most of those children, even when they grow up, believe me, they are never emotionally stable. And most of them don't have stable relationships. They tend to even be abusive, because growing up in an environment like that, to them, they don't even know those things. It's wrong. That's how they were taught to express themselves. So that's just like a way of expressing themselves. So going back to trying to state the causes of the things that reinforce domestic violence and they make it to become a norm. Like I said, the first one already, you're growing up in a family where you see your parents practicing that. So to you, you just feel like that's a way of expressing your physical and your emotional self. You use violence as a way to like either express your anger, to mask your anger. And there are some other ones like they will use it as a tactic. They've been using it as a tactic and it's been working for them over the years. So what do I mean by that? There's a spouse that is violent. For example, if you're married to like a rich man and he knows that you love the goody goodies, you love good bags, you think it's down to upbringing? Well, Gypsy, I don't know. What do you think? You can give us your comments, your views in the comment section. That's why there's a comment section. Give your views in the comment section. What do you think these are the causes? It's not down to upbringing, but that's, to me, that's one of the contributing factors. Prof, you're welcome online. So, for example, there are some men that they are very manipulative and they will use those tactics. They know how to get their wives. They will beat their wives. And when the wife is crying, they go out, they get a very nice gift. They come and they beg her. They'll be like, it will not happen again. No, are they very sorry? Are they very sorry? Now you're succeeding to always keep her short. She stays quiet, she stays silent, and she endures. You understand? Over the time, the next time you will still do it, you will still hit her. The moment you say, okay, she's going through pain, you go and you console her, it will happen again. You go out, you're coming back again the next day, you buy a gift. And those times, those men, they can be romantic too. They will parcel the gifts very well. You come and then you hand it to your wife. Helen says she thinks friends can be part of it. Maybe you try to expatiate more. Let me try to understand how friends contribute to spouses being violent to their partners. So another thing that makes it to become a norm, it's because those people have been doing it and they've been getting away with it. Their spouse has not reported them to any authorities. So they've done it over and over and over and over, and they are getting away with it. And like in a developed world where we are, there's a tendency, if neighbors get you people fighting, they don't even come to intervene or to inquire what is happening. The first thing they will do is to call the security. They will call the police on you. And there are some people, for example, the police will show up at your door that we've been called that there was a case of domestic violence. And for example, if the wife was beaten, she's the first person to jump and defend the husband and say, no, we just had an argument though, but we had resolved our issue. We were even playing together. Now you're proving to that person time and again that you're covering his act. He will not stop it. He will keep doing it because you're not even trying to expose him. Maybe the parents don't even know. Your parents don't even know. When your parents call you, they're like, how is marriage treating you? How is everything? We're fine. No, we are okay. Oh. They don't even know you're dying in silence. You're suffering and smiling. So those are part of the things that they trigger people and they make domestic violence in some individuals to become a norm. So let's go now at looking at the things now that they trigger domestic violence. Okay, it is okay to grow up in an environment where your parents are violent. It is okay it's true that you've learned those aspects from them. You don't just sit like this at home because your parents were violent and you just start beating your spouse or you just start shouting. No, there are factors that trigger these things. And what are these factors? The first I would like to state is like disagreement. There are some couples, when they have a disagreement, the other one feels like the only way he or she can prove that they've had the last laugh in that argument is by hitting the other person. And on that note, it's very really sad because what brings me really to this topic, even I was planning last week, I'm going to talk about this topic, but then yesterday, another instance of domestic violence still happened in Cameroon and the woman died. So I'm trying to show us the pictures of the individuals concerned. Then I will try to play like a voice note. They are old people even. You see, this is the woman in yellow. Unfortunately, yesterday she passed away as a result of domestic violence. This is the husband. This happened in Yaoundé. And this couple, they said they've been married for 21 years and they had 17 years of courtship. So they are a couple that they've been married for long. And the daughter, in one of the interviews, I will just trying to translate what she said. She said the mom and the dad, they had an argument in the living room in their midst. And the mom got angry because the dad was shouting at her in front of the children. So she left and she went to the room. And the man got angry and walked after her. Like, how dare you walk out on me when I'm talking to you? And more to that, you're walking out on me in front of the kids. So the dad followed her to the room. So the kids now said they sat in the living room for some time. They've not seen their mom. One of them got worried. So she was like, let her try to go and check on the mom. She went through the window. She peeped through the window and she discovered that the mother was lying on the floor in their room, and the dad was sitting beside. It didn't even concern her. She now called the dad's mother. That's what is going on. They even called the man. This man did not pick. So she now called her brother and she said, what do you think? Don't we think we should break the door and try to check out what is happening to mommy? They now had to break the door. As they entered, they discovered their mom was lying on the door. She wasn't breathing or anything like that. And the man even sat there unbothered. They took her, they rushed with her to the hospital. On arrival, she died. And when the girl child was giving the testimony, she said she knows that if dad killed the mother, that he's a very violent man, that he's always threatening the mother with a gun. Any little thing, he would just remove the gun and be like, I will shoot you, I will shoot you. So the girl was like, there's even an instance where the man wanted to, like, he removed a gun that he was going to shoot the mom. And she, the daughter, she came and stood in front of the mother and she said, "Why not while I'm alive? That if you want to kill my mom, you must go through me first." Just imagine that kind of child growing up in such an environment, witnessing all those things. Those things at times even is traumatizing. Even that girl child, those things that she has witnessed and she has lost the mom, she's going through a psychological trauma, and it's going to take her a while, like, to recover from it. Sometimes there are things that we don't even need to take. If you see it's not going for your sake, move out of the marriage. Yes, marriage is for better, for worse, but there are some things that you should not lose your life because you took a vow. Walk out of that marriage while you're still alive. The second thing that triggers domestic violence that I'm going to talk about is alcohol. We know, especially those people that abuse alcohol. You know, you go out, you drink, you're drunk, you're coming back home, you've drunk yourself to stupor, you don't even think or reason very well. When your children or your spouse want to ask you where are you coming from, you just start beating them up. You start messing them up. The next day, when alcohol must have cleared from your mind, when they are telling you the things you did, you start regretting your acts. Another one is self-defense. You know, somebody that has been through violence and has stayed in a violent relationship for a long time, that person will even always behave abnormally when they're in a normal relationship, especially if their partner has a high pitch. If you want to say anything to them, if in the previous relationship they had always been used to defending themselves or even taking an object to fight the other person to defend themselves, the moment you even just want to shout at them, they may take an object and even hit you before they become conscious that, hey, this person wasn't trying to abuse me, because they had been in another relationship that they had put that defense mechanism. That was the only way they knew how they could respond to their partner in a relationship. Then you have young parents too. You know, young parents, when they give birth to kids or to a baby, that they are very young, especially when they are not financially stable, there is frustration, there is anger, there is depression, and in such a home there is bound to be domestic violence. Another aspect to it, you have unemployment, you have poverty, you have financial issues. You know, they always say a hungry man is an angry man, just like somebody that is poor is very angry. They get very offensive, they get irritated. Anything that you tell them that is not good, especially, for example, you just wake up and say, Baba, yeah, you're just sitting quietly like this today. What are we going to eat? I'm hungry, or there's no food for the children. Out of anger, because he doesn't even have money. He doesn't know how he's going to feed. He doesn't know how he'll survive himself and the family. He will just give you one blow. And that pattern would continue for the time being that they are going through all of those stuffs. So another aspect of it is going to be desperation when your partner threatens to leave. You know, there are some people, they love to the extent that they don't even know how to live with the other person. Sometimes there are people who are coming to watch the other video that I ended already. Let me try to Let me just keep someone a voice note. No, you dey surely watch now the old video where we start play and I discover say people they know if you comment, then I stop that one. Exit from that one, you try to check another video where they show say I did live, you join another one. So that is that one. You know those people that they love to that extent that they are afraid that if this person leaves me because of this my behavior, what is going to happen? You know, it raises they will start saying it like a joke. They'll be like, I will just kill myself. I will kill you and kill myself. I will kill you and kill. And those things have even happened in the past. In Cameroon, we've seen instances where people have killed the other person because there was even rumor or they thought their spouses, they were cheating on them. You have anger escalation. That one is it's so rampant. You know those people that they cannot control their anger. Anything they just they blow it out of proportion. Those people, be very careful. And there is some mistakes we make. These are things that you should not overlook in a relationship, because don't think that your partner is going to change, that a person is going to become better in the relationship. No. You know, people who face humiliation, maybe from work, maybe it failure from a business, they get back home, they are very angry, they are furious, they don't even want you to talk to them. Those people too, they become very like aggressive. And if you notice equally that your partner is that kind of a person, try to always just avoid them. Don't be provoking them, because you know if you provoke them, you get blow, you're on your own. That's another problem. Then let me go a step further, that I was trying to say something when I was watching the post yesterday that they put this post about this man that killed the wife. There was a comment that yesterday on the video that stood out for me. I will just try to, it was like the person set my mind. So I will just go to that comment section and I will try to read the comments, what the lady said. She said, I've never heard of anyone who died because they didn't marry, but I've heard of people who died because they married the wrong person. I'm not a relationship expert or saying this wahala. What is this wahala? Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? My connection was trying to behave somehow. It was showing that my connection is unstable. So that is it about the causes of domestic violence. Let us now look at why people endure. Why, when you see, okay, all right, thank you, all right, thank you, means the problem is okay now. Okay, we've looked at the causes of domestic violence. Let us now look at the reasons why people still decide to endure and be in these marriages. But before, yes, let's just go right into that one. The other one, I will give it at a later time. You see that your partner is abusive, yet you decide to stay. So what are the causes of these things? You know, you have hopeless romantics in a relationship. Those people that when they love, there's nothing you can tell them. All those ones that they believe that their spouses are going to change. And anytime you tell them, even if you know their partner is abusive, they'll tell you that no, we are working it out. We are working things out. There's that category of people that they will even defend their partner so much so that you just decide like, I'm never going to open my mouth to say anything about this couple again. Let me just be watching from a distance. And then you have those people that they've been married for long. You understand, they've gotten to rely so much. Yeah, Ryan. You say the fear of what people will say. That's very true. That's another reason why people endure in marriages, in relationships. Especially, you see those people that they've been for long. They will just be like, if I leave my husband, if I leave my wife, because wives are abusive too. What will people say? The fear of what people will say, you will now decide to be enduring in that relationship, even when it's not moving, when it's killing you in the inside. Another aspect we are going to look at, it's, all those couples that they come from homes that they will tell them that as you go marry, so no ever come back for the house as divorcee. We don't divorce in our families. Anyhow, as you marry, go so they support, and you'll be enduring because you want to do what? You want to keep your family image. You don't want to be the first one to break the cycle, to become the first divorcee in your family. Your husband is maltreating you, and you decide to endure. Your wife is maltreating you, you decide to endure, and you don't want to tell the family because what you're trying to protect the image of your family at your own detriment. What is another thing? Lefi Ewondo. Yes, Smith. That's something that I wanted to say before. Then it escaped my mind when I was talking about cultural factors that trigger uh, domestic violence. So, Smith say Lefi Ewondo M les hommes violents. And it's very true. We know Ewondo people from Cameroon. That point was really in my mind. And that was what I was saying, like I'm forgetting something. We know Ewondo tribes. People from Ewondo, they believe that fighting is a way of expressing love. I have a lot of them as friends, and I've seen that tendency in them. I've seen it. I remember when I was in the uni back then in Yaoundé, I had some of my neighbors, my direct opposite neighbors, they were Ewondos. This couple can fight for Africa, and they had a small daughter. They will fight. At times, they will fight and they will break the door. The mother-in-law was staying just opposite. So anytime they start fighting, she just comes and she carries the daughter and she goes with it. And the funniest thing is, wake up in the morning, highest you give them is 12 midday. You will see them sitting in front of the door, discussing, gisting, and they are so okay. I used to be like, what kind of couples are these? Because with time, I got to know that it's like a cultural something for them. That's by the way. Let's come to the reasons why people endure in marriages. Excuse. This is other aspect is joblessness. And that's one of the reasons I always advise ladies that have a handwork on your own. Even when you're married, have something that you're doing. Don't just be dependent on your spouse to provide for everything. There are some ladies that they get married and they discover in the marriage that their spouses are violent. They did not know prior to marriage. Then just imagine a young girl who got married and then had maybe 4 children in the space of, say, 8, 9 years. Now she's stuck with 4 kids. The husband is violent. She's thinking that, okay, I cannot leave my home and allow my kids here because this man may remarry, and who he remarries may not treat my children right. What is she obliged to do? She's obliged to stay. But had it been she was financially stable, as she's thinking of her safety and that of her children, she would take her children away because she knows that financially she can start. There are some women that I applaud them. They have the courage. They don't have anything, but it will get to an extent they'll say it has gotten to here and I cannot take it any longer. They will take their children and they will walk out of that marriage and they will fight on their own to start all over again. So you have equally the blackmailers. Imagine that you're married to somebody that, for example, the person has your nudes. The person, for example, what other example do I give? You rob someone and the person knows about it. You killed someone and the person knows about it. Well, Papa Champi, I finish my comment before I can read the other one. I beg. I finish my comment before I can read the other comment. I beg. I don't feel shout. I don't feel shout. So any spouse we don't marry them, where you get your secrets for your hand, those people, they will use those things to blackmail you and you will stay in that relationship whether you want it or not. They can threaten you that I have images of our sex tape, or of your sex tape, or of your nudes, of your nakedness. If you walk out of this house, I'm going to share it all over the internet. And someone that is dignified, she wants to protect her dignity, she will stay. She's not happy, but she's going to endure. Imagine your husband telling you that I'm going to divorce you because you're verbally abusive, because you're this, because you're that, and the wife has a secret that you've been keeping for years, you don't want it out there. She will tell you that try it. The moment you try it, the world will know that this is the kind of person that you are. The world will know that you are a pedophile. The world will know that you are a thief. The world will know that you are the person, you are the one that you are amongst the people that killed so person. Then you succeed now in muting that person and keeping the person silent. So, like our Papa Shampi said, Papa Shampi said, the sweetness of the sex too counts. So that's another valid point. It could be that your spouse, yes, when the person handles you sexually, you will be shouting until like the world is coming to an end. So when you think about those ones, that one you'll be like, no. Aside this man being violent, the way he handles me in bed, no, I'm very okay with that one. I will forget about the domestic violence and stay and I endure. Yes, Amaka, what you said is very Amuta, what you said is very true. You said material things to calm them down. Yeah, I think I said this point when I was talking about one of the causes of domestic violence. One of the things that trigger those people to continue to act the way they do, it's because they know how to cover up their tracks. They've seen their spouse's weakness. If they see that the spouse is this kind of a person that she likes Gucci bags, she likes them designer bags, and and the spouses can afford, anytime they abuse you, those are the items they will be using to apologize. They will buy the latest jewelry. Those people, they funny enough, they study you very well. They know what you like. You see those things that you like, that sometimes even you sit and you'll be telling them like, I wish if I had this, I wish if I had that. On a normal base, they will not, on a normal day, they may not even buy those things and offer it to you. But the moment they abuse you and they want to ask for forgiveness, they will keep using that as a means to like hold you down, and you will stay there. You would walk out there. Sometimes your husband has beaten you, your face is swollen. Sometimes you're even taken to the hospital, you recover, you're coming home. He has bought latest Range Rover to apologize. You're cruising around town with a swollen eye, and you endure and you keep it up. You have people, this one too is linked to this point, people who are accustomed with a certain lifestyle. Now, yes, the husband is abusive, but the kind of life they're accustomed to, this is the only person that can like afford that kind of lifestyle for them. So they start thinking like, okay, if I leave this person, how am I going to cope? Where do I go from here? They'll be like, I better be enjoying the money and stay quiet. So they come up with the latest things you'll be enjoying. And those kind of people, they can pretend a lot. They appear like the perfect couple. When they fought and quarreled, those kind of ladies, even the highest makeup that can hide dark scars, they have it. They have it. The husband will beat her, apologize. Oh, yeah, dress as you're dressing. Wear that bag I bought for you. Wear that jewelry, be glittering. We are going for dinner at a friend's place. And people even wear to match. People will go and sit there and be hugging and kissing each other. You're suffering and smiling and trying to please the crowd. And funny enough, who you people even went to visit, they may have a very peaceful home. But if the other wife is attracted by flashy things, she'll even start bringing problems in her own home and like trying to tell the husband, like the husband is not doing enough. Look at it. They'll be looking up to you, but they don't even know that in real life you're envying them. You're just using all those flashy things to mask the real pain you're going through. So some is like they're afraid of what friends would say. I think someone mentioned this in the comment section already. When you know you don't want Abang, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, there are some when they don't want that their friends should know that their spouses are abusive, they hide it. Their friends don't even know, they have no clue. And those people, funny enough, when they are in front of their friends, they will praise their my husband cannot try it. My husband cannot, it's always my husband, my husband, my husband. Oh, no rest. That my husband cannot do it. My husband cannot try it. He treats me like egg. I'm the apple of his eye. That's his calling. Sometimes even the husband be calling her that, where are you? I tell her that in the next 5 minutes, you should already be here. And she may come and she wants to close the friends. I don't know, I have to rush home. An emergency came up. And if the friend's like, is everything okay? That, yes, so it's just my husband. Oh, he's missing me a lot. This guy, and I know they get enough. So I have to go, and you're pretending. You don't want your friends to know the actual thing that you're going through in your marital home. Then there is another aspect, which is, those ones that they don't believe in divorce. There's a category that they don't believe in divorce. There's the category that they like the name marriage die. Me, divorcee. No, I cannot become a divorcee now. I would rather endure till infinity. I would endure till infinity. And you'll be enduring. You'll be suffering. You come out, you smile. Most of those people, funny enough, that they endure, except you're like close to them. Sometimes if you come closer to them, you will discover that they are a little bit quiet. But if not, they try to be very bubbly when they're in the midst of other people, to try to mask it, to cover it up, let people not start asking like, is everything okay at home? You're unnecessarily quiet. And then you have those other ones that they say, what word do I use it? What word do I use? Okay, I said this before. There are some, in Africa, for example, especially if you're married to an influential person, Africa doesn't have institutions, they don't have laws that they are very effective in such situations. So imagine that you're married to a very influential person who is abusive to you. Sometimes you are afraid to leave that home because the person will come after you. Those people always even say it, that I made you, that who are you? Without me, you're nothing. That if you dare leave this home, that I will render your life miserable. I will dig you from that hole. Then just imagine such a person. And Africa, they respect big people a lot. Imagine that your husband is abusive and you now go to the case of Cameroon, for example, commissariat, to go and report that your husband is abusing you. For example, if you just appear, they'll just, Madame Trekam, so do. Qu'est-ce que t'as amené ici? What brings you here? As you're giving your report, if they just cite it, that this is what you're writing, they will just call your husband behind, your wife is here, or she has come and lay a complaint for so and so. And by the time it is your husband even that may either walk in or call you that, what do you think you're doing there? So those tendencies are things like that, lack of those strong social systems in the countries where we come from. They keep those people in homes that they don't even want to be there. They know that they are married to very influential people. If they try to leave, the person has warned them before, the person is going to mess up their life. So those are the things I would say about the reasons people endure in marriages. So now, how and where can these people seek for help? I'll always advise that if you are in a country where the law is enforced, always call the security, call the police. Let them come and carry the person, or let them take you away from there for your own safety. Then, if you know any family members that the person respects, that the person is afraid of, report him to those family members. It could be your parents, it could be his parents, it could be a close friend of his that he respects very much, and the friend is not even aware that those are the things that he does in his home. It could be the last option, maybe a religious person that you can confine in. But to me, sometimes I always prefer that it should be within a family clique. before you can take it out. Let those people try to talk to that person. The person could change. Sometimes people like that, they could even, like I said, those courses before, those people that grew up in those environments, to them, it's a norm. They may not even know the negative effect those things is causing on you. And if they have someone that can call and talk to them, they may try to amend their ways. You also have counseling, which I'll advise. There are some people that if they go through counseling, they will advise them. The counselor can tell the wife who talks too much, that water like this one, let me use this opportunity and drink my water. Oh, this my internet today is messing me up. This internet is messing me up today. Let me drink my water. You can tell them that if you feel like talking or insulting anybody, just take water. Have a sip of it. You can count. Try it 3-4 times. You will discover that by the 5th time, how you're even thinking is to swallow your water and goggle it in your mouth. You will forget about insulting the other person. Talk to the husband that, okay, if you discover that this your spouse is very abusive, rather than always hitting her, why don't you just try to walk out of her, walk away from that scenario? Just go somewhere and come back when the issue must have died down. And as you come back, sometimes just go to the bedroom and you sleep. Don't answer her. Those are coping mechanisms. Those are ways that you can cope. And you would walk through it and discover that you've become a better version of yourself. You can even go through it and you will discover that counseling and therapy really helped you become a better version and a better person. And you even become an advocate. Because if, like I gave the statistics before, if you can see more than 1.6 million deaths per year as a result of domestic violence worldwide, that's too much. It will reduce the number to less than 1 million. By the time we know it, less than 50,000. By the time we know it, it will no longer be a call for concern. So someone sent me a video. A lot of these domestic violence things are just happening a lot. Last week, I still showed some videos of one girl that she died in Italy. They are Cameroonians. Mr. Flavors, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, like last week, it was this girl I showed. Look at a very beautiful girl. She's 31. She's in Italy. She studied to become a social worker. And today she's nowhere to be found. This is the boyfriend. He's Cameroonian too, from Bamileke. They were dating and they had an argument, apparently, because the friends discovered that 2 days to the girl's birthday, she was missing. They had to go and report to the police. They now launched an investigation. It's but a pity that they came and discovered her body parts in a trash can. This man killed her, chopped her into pieces, threw her body in the trash can, and called the police to report himself that he had killed the girlfriend. By the time the police got to his apartment, he himself too committed suicide and he died. And then they are saying that this man even had mental issues, and the man even had tried severally before to kill himself. You, the girl, what are you doing in that kind of a relationship? Must you be in a relationship? Sometimes when you see some things that it is not going, just stay clear. It's best. It's like because the way I love my life, don't endure certain things because of a relationship. If it's not moving, just quit. You will see somebody that will love you for you, that will treat you right as a queen, as a king that you are. Stop enduring in relationships. It is not a do or die affair, especially when you see that it is abusive. And sometimes when we are dating, because this girl like this, if the boy didn't kill her, there's a possibility that they could even end up getting married. And you've already seen those tendencies in that person. You're getting married to that person. Do you think it's when you get married to the person that the person will change and become a better version of himself? No. Except in rare cases, Prayers, yes, can do some things, or when the person goes through counseling, that it can help. There's the other woman that died in the US that they said she used to work with Cantel before. I think that should be a month or 2 months now. She used to work with Cantel, and this guy came from the US, got married to her, and took her to the US. And when she died, the neighbors now said those couples were always fighting, even when the woman was pregnant. And when she gave birth, they still had a 4-month-old baby. The man beat her up to the point where she was even bleeding. And the man, even to show he cares less, he left the house and went. She had to struggle, pull herself, drive herself to the hospital. She reached the hospital where she had lost a lot of blood. And she gave up the ghost at the hospital. Now, prior to that marriage, she had one child. Then in the marriage, she had another child. Where is she today? She's dead and gone. And she has abandoned 2 kids behind. That man will end up getting married to another person who may not even regard your children. You would have left that home and started your life all over with your 2 children and be alive for them. The situation, it's really... So sometimes my advice is just, if you see it's not going, waka go abeg. So I will share one video that someone sent to me on WhatsApp, and the lines are open. If you want to call, you can call to give your own contribution. Like, okay, to you, what do you think causes this? And why do people endure? And most importantly, what do you think can be done? Because our desire is for us to see all these things gradually being eradicated. So let me send a video, play the video someone sent to me on WhatsApp. The lines are open, please. The lines are open. Okay. Where did that person send? 1 minute, guys. Let me check the video and play it. Okay. What happened to my phone? Okay. Let me
blunt on this platform. Most of the times, physical abuse from men is a response to emotional abuse from women. Emotional abuse from the women provokes physical abuse. It is a response. Break it down. Also, emotional or psychological abuse of women. No, respond. Yeah. No, let him come. You watch us. Please. There is abuse from both parts. The man goes physical, but the woman is giving emotional torture. Yes. I repeat again, most physical abuse from men is a response from emotional abuse from women. Okay. Take it.
You guys should just listen and tell me what you think about this.
To get out and start beating a woman. No reasonable, responsible man will get up, except in rare cases. To every exception, to every rule there's an exception. So we are talking here knowing that there are cases whereby some men abuse women physically for not just cause. But I will guarantee you 80% of men's abuse towards women is a response to an emotional abuse from the woman. Can you explain what... I'm going to explain it in details. Men are the quiet type. Women are flippant. Women are flippant in nature. They talk a lot. Sometimes a man can do something and a woman doesn't seem to understand. She may start speaking. And women don't speak for you to listen. They speak for you to respond. Once they speak and you don't respond, they will want to say something harder than what they have said. And immediately they start throwing those hard words into your heart. There is a level you cannot take it anymore. And there are men, when they have absorbed that shock for too long, they cannot contain it. The next thing is that a rebounds. They will give you a slap and a kick then everyone that comes will see the slap and the kick because it's physical, not knowing that the man has been able to contain the emotional torture, either for a very long time. Sometimes men can contain this torture for almost 10 years. Some hold it for 15 years. At the level they can no longer take it, that they feel like this physical abuse, or to me, the right words to be used there is physical discipline. This physical discipline to the man or to the man is a kind of trying to solve something that his quietness cannot solve. That's one of the reasons you must understand. The second reason why men sometimes abuse women physically, it is simply because women can easily lose respect for men. I'm telling you, a man's desire is not food. Cook the best food. He can get it in a restaurant. A man's desire is not sex. He can get it in the street through a side chick. A man's desire is not your attire. The greatest thing you will ever take from a man that will cause the beast in him to come out is his respect. Inherent in every man is a king and a beast. If you choose to be a queen, you will bring out the king in him. If you be a torment, you will bring out the beast in him. In all cultures of the world, the last thing that a man cannot take, I'm talking from a generic point of view, is disrespect. Some women are grossly disrespectful. I can tell you with all sincerity that the marriages before this period are far more better. There were no marriage seminars, there were no conferences, there were no lectures on marriage, but the marriages succeeded better because we were properly brought up in good culture. This thing called women emancipation has not been defined in a proper context. Women emancipation is the ability and liberation for women to enter into governance, not to dominate in marriage. The women emancipation concept should be properly defined and then drilled again in the minds of women, because some women have taken this women emancipation into marriage. There are standards in marriage that no generation can ever take. The woman is to submit to a man and the man is to love the woman. That is the standard. But women emancipation has come to tell us that a woman has equal right and freedom. Since women are president, they can also be husband. Women can be president, women can be governors, women can be DO, but a woman can never be husband. Husband is not a position. Husband is not a rank. Husband is not an office. Husband is an ordained responsibility. And until every woman comes to this point to understand that your emancipation will never come to a place where you will become a husband, then every woman should take her place in marriage. And that's why I say most at times physical response from men is a product of emotional abuse from women. The next thing we have to understand, Mr. Liu, is this. Not everybody has the same capacity. Women compare a lot. A woman will want her husband to be like her neighbor's husband. I'm telling you. The minute you start calling, you say that, look at Papa Junior there. He goes out with the car. Here you are with one jalopy bag every day. Cut your cloth, cut your coat according to your cloth. Any man that God gives you, it is because that is the capacity of man you can manage. God cannot give you something better than you. Because if you were better off, God will give you something better. So please, let us understand this. That people will most of the time say, look at the useless man that beats his wife. I don't support wife beaters. But I can tell you, before a man will raise his hand, what were you doing there? Until he got to the extent of raising his hand on you. We grew with our mothers in the 80s. That our father will make, we want to react. By the time they are talking, she gives way. A woman will talk to the extent of sending her finger into your nostrils because of women emancipation. I think we should go back and redefine this concept of women emancipation. A woman can be a president like Angela Merkel. She can be a governor. She can be an SDO. She can be a DO. She can never be a husband. Whether you are anybody and your husband, whether you are more educated than him, that position, husband, is a rank that God has positioned that nobody breaks it. Okay.
Okay, guys. You've all heard this person's contribution. I honestly don't want to say what I think about it for now. So the lines are open though. I think everybody on this live, nearly everybody on our live has my number. If you have a contribution that you want to call and make, you can call and make. I would round up everything by giving my own 2 cents on this matter, but I would want to do that after every other person must have spoken. So the lines are open, please. If you want to call and give your contribution, feel free to do so, please. And while waiting on the call, I think I can just go ahead and play just one more song for a short break. The lines are open, please. You can call to give your contribution. Then I will come in the end to round it up. Internet this day has been trying to mess me up. The lines are open, please. Feel free to call and give your contributions. Feel free in the next 5, let me just give musical break. In the next 4 or 5 minutes, if there's no one to call, I'll just go ahead and thank everyone that participated in our live video for today. Then I will give my 2 cents on this matter and close the show for today. There's nothing you cannot do. What's about breakup? There is nothing you cannot do. You're over to go. I have tested out your love. I have seen your mighty words. Mountain over my love crowd. Nobody did mine. Wish you forgive my face. There is nothing you cannot do. What's about breakup? There is nothing you cannot do. You're over to go. I have tested out your love. I have seen your mighty words. Mountain over my love crowd. Nobody did mine. You found me worthy. I heard you call my name, and then you showed me love. You filled my heart with joy. Oh, you take my heart, I give it to you. It belongs to you. You're taking over me. So wait, I have a caller. I have tested out your love. Let me try to call her back. Yeah, hello. Hello? Yeah, good afternoon, dear. Yeah, afternoon. Hey! give me your point of view, my dear. That's oiliness, I beg. I want clear oiliness, we want this more. Actually, I want first make a precision on your
the first point we make up maybe things for the year. You talk something we actually contribute to the and everyone take into consideration.
Okay.
Domestic violence is for everyone. Not the only woman suffer from domestic violence. Men also suffer from domestic violence. Just like that old man talk. Some men suffer from domestic violence verbally, and the woman that is suffer physically. So I want to talk on two things.
Okay.
How we do find ourselves in domestic violence, and why it be so hard for we to live.
Okay.
The first thing we make we find ourselves in domestic violence, let's say, your companion with whom you are. I want to take most especially the cases of women, because like women they even talk about domestic violence. If they'll never see man we don't come up and talk say he don't suffer from domestic violence, that they show his skin, say woman don't pity. So when they want to talk about domestic violence, they go talk about the women who they get a physical effect. They talk about the men who they get a psychological effect.
Yeah.
So some of these women, they suffer in such a way. They men them don't feel that they don't seduce the woman. They don't charm the victim. They don't seduce. It don't be very deeply in love. It don't show the woman some kind of love way at the end of it. Don't start talking and say no one jealousy. They behave so that jealousy, it be jealous, all that kind of thing. The next thing the person they do now say if they try to isolate you, the victim, they try to isolate you from your friends, your family members. I mean, if you try to start the case like that, a friend and so I don't like them. Maybe you deal like brothers or your sister. Sometimes you didn't tell you someone that even maybe no one relocate that kind of thing. Say each one for being only with you, maybe each one leave your family behind, or that kind of thing. Just live on a happy ever afterlife. Only one two. Then it will start for the introduced violence. Small for see a reaction. You now will be blinded. You know even see and say no, you are being violated upon. Because you only the thing say no, this man loves you to an extent. You get the sense say no, this man has given up on so many things just for you. It will blind you with love. So it will first start to violate you small. You don't even think like you just like no, maybe not same system will be the problem, or you go instantly.
Hey, why Gucci, welcome. Just stay tuned and listen to what's going on here. Much fire there.
Yeah, you go instantly victimize yourself the more and more. As in, no, this man is too lovely. This man is, I am his world. I am his this. And so way then it take us start violate. You want to turn around, you don't get a friend to whom you can talk to. You don't get a family member. You just get on your own. And then now you will start asking yourself, like maybe you don't be proud on how you don't talk so well about him. How you will start now, you will start talking again for people and say, I think this way it do me. And one of the reasons exactly you will remain inside a relationship. Because you don't even know how you will start telling people and say, like this way you do me for I say they beat me, if they do me this, you could do that song. The next reason when plenty people will even remain inside a relationship now because they get the fright of being killed. Because they already see how violated the man be. They will just say and say, better me as don't. Because if they so, because they ever use that trick of being too jealous, being overprotective. You say because if I did for a house, now so it behave. Then if I come up now so where he tell say his whole life depend on me, maybe he will just kill me. And if you want to say most people lost their lives after having left their abusive partner. So they will just decide say better me I just remain me for this this relationship, me I just remain the endure the go. Then the fear again to say if I even get some best success that is so far, how it will be, just remain. Another thing again now I said they always take they always take and like it will change, like you talked before, it will change. You never ever know that the last stroke we will just can't finish a camel. You know, we always try for the give reasons as to no this time around if you just give me a one slap, it means nothing. The next day If of you na too, before one notice and a serious beating will follow you. Before it will slap you, it can be in the neck, share, all that kind of thing. Before one notice and sometimes that's when your hand don't probe all that kind of thing. So sometimes women are afraid to leave because of the after which that man will do you. Because so most of that people they be very abusive. It be like they get some spirit where it possess them. And because they don't start to beat you, you take them, it gives them that power over you again. So they don't first start for being very domineering in the relationship. They don't first bring you down to that level where you not even react. As in, you not even maybe not want to slap you, they say no, I beg not slap me. You go instead just sometimes they don't bring you for some kind level where even for you for even taking even maybe for taking even for a parent for start for report for this and no na pikin they treat me right, all that kind of thing will not even fit because it already finish with your sense. The only thing if you think na love. Now love. No, he's so loving, he's so caring. It was just a mistake. That's why we always apologize. I won't do it again. All that kind of thing. So when they know say once there is the first time, to obviously be a second time.
Definitely.
And there will be a third time, and that is how it keeps going on.
Okay.
So women they actually be very careful. Domestic violence na sometimes and even our parents because we need for even try to talk to our parents. Some people will come up because they want to protect family name. They say no for year we need to come up for marriage. They only need to go back for them. So plenty they go lose their lives. They give a listening ear to their kids. If picking come back fast, you say, "Mommy, Papa," as it is so. That thing is what I go through from my house. Definitely, you should look for a solution. I mean, I say when I just tell you say, go back or maybe end the marriage. Maybe the way forward. But try to look at the root of the matter. If we don't try to study the man, we understand say we know they are because Papa for us. But if we see and say there is a way forward, then when I give a try again, because violence they in a category. So man they way own violence we end for slap. Another man they way own violence. If he then I say it move na gas rope all your skin. So they therefore look into the degree of the violence for the man upon their picking.
Okay.
Some would try for sensitize even our parents because most of those people who even die in such homes, like because of their parents, they send them back for they just lock their ear then for listening to their picking and say, no, Mommy, Papa, back for that house, I'm not fit go again. Some of the women they go even go commit suicide because they don't say no way no day for you to go back for that house again. You go do now how. And some of the women then too, they die in silence. They don't feel talk because they fear societal judgment. They don't feel like think this way and they go through.
Okay, now.
So that was my.
Now, thank you very much for your contribution. But now the question where I want to chip in and say, okay, for African soil, we understand say those things, and when you get closer to your parents, they feel easily get an influence on you and on which way they go on. One now you go talk about the increasing cases now for Africans where they still live in the diaspora, where they actually get a system that protects them, but day in, day out, domestic violence they see occur. So wait till they trigger them now at those points in time for stay in those places. Why they not feel like fight for their rights, fight for themselves. If now say you, for example, you day US. Yes, if the man will come after you, there is a way you can relocate to another state that the man will not even know where you are. It is a very big country. The man will hardly even know your whereabouts, but they chose to stay. So what are those factors now?
Like I start for talk before. The man don't first play over your psychology.
Yeah, okay.
It already make you know say it be ready for quit a job just for tell you, say, let's relocate to another state. Only for one proof to you how much you care about, he cares about you, how much he loves you. So now one of the reasons and that way it make the women then even they stay again, they be torment, then they go there, they still stay now because the man don't seduce the woman, don't show excess love. So as you see and so on. And most of those men, the way they be violent, they ever want to take you now out of your comfort zone. Not keep you some place where you not get no that's you used to say
for isolate you.
Will happen for you because you are ignorant that you are being violated. You are ignorant. Now one of the that way even they put it they be violated upon the no. They don't even know say they're ignorant about the fact that they are being violated.
All right. Okay.
So what? So that meant that is struggle for for excess love. You didn't even know how it happened until you don't get to that degree. You know, if you take an again, before I want to see woman come up and talk say it be
it be the spouse be abusive.
It means that the violence.
You don't go on for long.
Before I want to say it be violated the upon. It means that the violence don't go on for long and you don't get to a degree where it's not even. Enough even condole again. Sometimes the one talking start the show now. If the proof where the show now say don't be violated upon, you know if you understand, you're like you stayed for that long.
You're right.
So now some of the things and that before a woman the one more campus have been violated upon that things for a long period of time and the effects they don't really be very very bad. And whether they go come can talk.
All right, okay.
And now whether they don't reach that stage, that's why they decide to get out of the relationship. Either they decide for break the silence.
All right. Thank you very much for your call and your contribution. I very much appreciate.
Thank you too for this platform.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So we don't hear it way Wakola don't call talk. You don't call talk since they will make a lot of sense. If you know one call and you want contribute, if you still make your point of view known in the comment section, I beg. So I still see people there online. I not see any reaction from the comment section. I not even know whether I say when we beat that call, we wait we will call her big talk or not be dead that call. When I not see any reaction in the comment section. So I think if in the next 2-3 minutes I not get another caller, I will end the show. I kind of get an emergency at hand I need to handle. I get an emergency at hand I need to handle. So please, yes, I'm still seeing people online. I'm not seeing any comments in the comment section. I hope you guys can get me. I hope the comment section is still active. So I still see people online. I'm just going to play this song to finish. And after that, like I said, in the next 2-3 minutes, if we don't have another caller, if we don't have another contribution, then I'm going to end the show. And I'm very, very appreciative as to how interactive you people were, all the contributions, everybody that tuned in today to be a part of our show. I really very much appreciate. Yarayan, you say you agree 100% with her first point that a great majority of men tend to be abusive physically because of their ladies' sharp mouths. Okay, with the video that man made, but that withstanding, the physical abuse is never an answer. If you love her as much as you claim, you will find other ways to treat the situation. Guys, there's a call coming in that is disturbing me. I'll just ignore that for now. That's the reason why the women stay. This caller will not stop calling me. Um, yes, yeah, Ryan. I'm in support of what you said. You just raised a point that I wanted to bring it when I'm trying to give my own, because I said my point of view will come at the end of it. I just wanted to give others room to give their own contributions or say what they feel about what the man was saying. Then I would come later and give my own point of view. So part of what you said was like part of the point of view I wanted to come up with. So I'm not seeing any other caller coming, so I'll just go ahead and wrap up with what I have to say. So, like you said, like Yarayan Lizette just said now, it's very true. That was just the first thing I wanted to say from that video when I listened to it. Two wrongs will never make a right. Yes, women can be verbally abusive. Like there are some women that they have sharp mouths that even you as a woman, when they talk beside you, it irritates you sometimes, and you start wondering, like this one that even has a husband, how is the husband coping at home? You begin to wonder, you're even like afraid for the husband. But now, two wrongs will never make a right. I think before you got married to her, to an extent, you would have known that she has a sharp mouth and you have a way that you've been dealing with her. You have to look for ways around it. Two wrongs do not make a right. People cannot be bringing kids in a home where the woman is insultive, throwing jabs here and there, and the husband on the other side is insultive. That's why you see homes like that when it gets to physical abuse. One day, that woman too, she will not sit quiet. She will start looking for objects. If it's iron, any object, she'll even look for harmful objects to keep beside her in a way that she can always retaliate. And if anything happens, what will she say? She will say it was in self-defense. And kids, they grow up in that kind of environment that it later on contributes to kids to be emotionally unstable. Most of them in relationships, they face trust issues. They cannot, like, they don't know how to express love. You understand that, like, if your spouse does something or your girlfriend or your boyfriend does something that is not okay, there is actually dialogue. They don't know how to dialogue. They were not brought up in that kind of environment. So that becomes like a generational pattern. You would grow up and bring kids that they inherit such other kids will be growing up and inheriting properties from their parents. You would bring up kids in an abusive environment that they are those abusive traits that they will inherit, and it becomes a generational pattern. That's why you see some people when they are conscious, they begin to say they want to break from a generational family curse. Some of them they tag it as a curse. They say they want to break that cycle. It has been happening with every member of the family, and it's a call for concern from some of them. So some of them they could happen to maybe grow up and they move out of that environment and they begin to see the way others live. And now it's kind of strange to them because where they are coming from, that is not how they behave. They have to learn it. It's just like you're studying a new subject that you're not really very versed with. You have to invest your time and then you learn it and you compare with the other one. Then you now be like, no, what my parents did was absolute rubbish. I don't want to be a part of that. But they will always struggle with that because they grew up in an environment where that kind of behavior is kind of like generational. Uh, there are ways about it. If that your wife, she talks too much, there must be a weakness, something that she doesn't like to hear. You can just always walk out of her presence anytime she starts talking here and there, here and there. And for women, sometimes too, it doesn't make sense that you get married to your spouse instead of treating him. You know, people take your spouse the way you present him to people. Instead of presenting him and respecting him like the king that he really is, you begin to degrade him to the extent that even your kids no longer have any iota of respect for him. They even begin to call him useless man because they learned it from the mother. Vice versa, when the kids they grow up in an environment that is abusive, those ones, even the boy ones, you always see if they have younger siblings, they'll be beating those younger siblings because anything they do, they will just beat them. Those siblings will grow up not like wanting to always come closer to their brother or their sister because the elderly one is always used to spanking them. That's the way they've been taught that they can correct somebody. Then communication sometimes is always the key because your spouse could be doing that and they don't even know how hurtful it is, that it is traumatizing you, that is making you to become like another version of yourself. Open up a conversation with them and be polite about it. Try to look at the moment, not in the moment where the argument is going, when you people are all okay, lovey-dovey moment, try to bring it to the person and in a way stylishly even tell the person to like go through therapy, that you'll be with them all the way. You understand that if you don't want to go there on your own, I can always accompany you to all the sessions. It could even be that the wife is doing some things that is triggering the husband to behave like that. And when you people go for those therapy sessions, it is an environment because it is a neutral person where you know all those counselors, therapists, they have a way, some kind of questions they would trigger and they will get to the root of what is causing all those things. And if people are both partners that you want to become better versions of yourself, you will work on yourselves and then you become better persons. Then as spouses also, try to not just always be confined in the same environment to an extent. So the environment may become toxic at one point in time. Try to always talk, make your life lively. You've had kids, yes. Sometimes always like still think of date nights, think of sometimes of going out, taking your spouse out on a lunch date, be in an outside environment where there is fresh air, where people can just talk, reminisce on the good old times, talk on the bad ones and how you can overcome it, and have like just a different vibe, then plan on the new adventures of your life, go on vacations, just try to spice your relationship, spice your marriage so that it doesn't become boring. And work on yourselves time and again. Sometimes you can always come to your spouse. If you see your spouse is moody or something, come and ask them that, is there anything that I did that is not wrong? If you people are two people that you people willingly want to make your marriage work, you would make it work. So, but not domestic violence. You know, all those things are things that we see in the beginning, but because of love, we ignore them. We ignore those signs. And the time we are coming out to speak out, we are already far gone so deep into it. Emotions are already invested, and we start finding it hard to move out, and then we start all over again. Some people would be like, I've known this man all my life. I've been with him for a very long time. How do I even start over again? How do I face the world? It's better you come out as a single person, you pick the pieces of your life together, you start life all over again, rather than enduring and being in a relationship where it is depressing you, where one day it may even lead to your death. Your children, you don't want your children, especially your kids, if they are still small, growing up and knowing that their mom or their dad died as a cause of domestic violence, of which those are things that we could equally avoid. So thank you guys for participating on our live for today. I think I'm going to go ahead now and end our video. Please, if you joined the live and you did not like the video, please, I beckon on you to like our video. Then if you're yet to subscribe, please, I will also plead that you try and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was a great show. You know, on my own, I cannot do this, but when I'm talking and I see a lot of people talking in the comment sections, participating, giving their views like this, it keeps me motivated. It gingers my spirit. So I'm very much glad. I'm very much happy. And thank you, people, guys. Next week is another week. If you have a topic that you think that I can talk about, do not always hesitate to DM me and about the topics. If the topic has pictures attached to it, do not forget to DM me, give me updates on things that I can talk about, because on my own I cannot do it. It was lovely again being in your midst, you all. I'm going to miss you all, and do have a blessed and a lovely week. Bye-bye.